All right, welcome to another episode of Real Estate Rockstars with Rick. I'm here today with a mega agent in Atlanta, Georgia, Fernando. Fernando, welcome to the show.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you for having me. It's pretty cool that we're doing this. To be honest with you,
Oh,
I'm
dude,
excited.
it's awesome. It's awesome because I feel like I've been in Atlanta now 12, 13 years. I feel like I know everybody, especially
Really?
all the the people that are doing the big business. And up until it's like somebody connected us, Helen Archer connected us, and she's like, "Do you know who Fernando is?" I'm like, "No, I've never heard of him." She's like, "Rick, you got to know this guy. He is crushing it on social media. You got to check out his videos." So I did. And I was like, how the hell have I never come across Fernando? This is amazing. Dude, all of your
Yeah,
content on YouTube, all of your Instagram videos, you do all the stuff that I coach realtors to do. And and you make it look easy because you're so natural at it. You're so smooth and it looks like you're having a good time.
yeah, man. We definitely like to have fun with it. That is kind of the one of the reasons why I enjoy social media is because I actually love doing it. To be honest with you, it's always been a passion for me because I've always been interested in film, making videos and stuff like that. Even since I was in high school, I was going to go to film school, but then that didn't happen because it was very expensive at the time.
Film
Uh,
school.
yeah, I was gonna go in. One of my bucket list items is eventually I want to get to the point where I do my own feature film.
Dude, that's
Just kind of,
incredible.
but I just kind of do it on my own terms and everything. So it's kind of out there. So eventually, that I want to do that. But film has always been one of those things, and just making videos and content has always been fun to me. And I one day it just hit me. It's like you should just do this for work. And then I just started doing it, and then one thing led to another, and then now we're just having fun doing it, man. It's on the calendars. It's part of our lead generation model, and we just do it. Like yesterday, we were out recording content. Later on today, we are gonna go and record more content. So it's just kind of how we do things.
Yeah, I saw the one you did yesterday, the luxury condo,
Yeah,
and that was awesome. And it's like you have are you directing the videos and like or are
yeah,
you just
yeah.
standing and they're telling you what to do?
No. I take that specific series. Any insert any generation by home buyers like. It all came from like okay, so in my friend group and everybody, I'm kind of known as the guy who just likes roasting, and I love roast. Like that is just kind of my favorite type of comedy. Like especially when comedians are doing crowd work and everything. So I just like
Yeah.
that's just in my nature, right? And then one day, like it just clicked. I was like, man, we millennials, we like this and that and this, and that's the thing, right? And we made a video. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna make a video about it. I'm like, it's funny how we all kind of do the same thing. We all kind of want the same thing. There's, for the majority of people, right? When you're meeting with somebody, um, you kind of get an idea. Okay, you've done so many buyer consultations because I've probably done hundreds of them. That you're like, okay, they tell you what they want, right? And it's usually like 80% the same thing, and they're all kind of generationally, and then obviously the other 20% are very individual things and needs that they want. But yeah, I just started doing that, and posted the first one. I didn't know how I was gonna do. It blew up immediately, and then the next one, and then I just kept going. I think the most viral one was the millennial one, the part one, combined and has like a few million views combined throughout all the social media platforms.
Mhm.
But it's the truth, and like you see, read the comments. 99.999% of the comments are positive. People are just like, "Wow, that's true." Especially when I was talking about the board and batten one, how we millennials love board and batten, we put it on everything, even inside of our homes, which is like hilarious, but it's true. I noticed a pattern, and I'm just kind of doing that. And then, yeah, same thing with Gen Z home buyers, which is I get a lot of comments like Gen Z are buying homes. Yes, they are. They really are. I've helped a bunch of them out. Actually, I helped two of this out this year already that bought condos, and that's where that video came from. It's like, yeah, they really love condos and they want to be in the city because they're young and there's a lot that's going on for them in the city. So that's kind of where all those videos originate from, and it's just literally a matter of writing them down. We have a list of things that I pick from. Like we have a script, and I keep writing stuff down as I think of them. And then once we're shooting, we kind of just go through all of them. We shoot all of them, but not everything makes it to the video because it's about timing and
Right.
delivery and all that. So that's kind of the process that we have.
Well, so tabling the videos. Prior to this call, I looked up your production this morning, and also my tool might not be as accurate as real numbers. I'm probably off a little bit, but what I found was that last year you closed out 45 units for about 14.5 million.
It was
And I bet that's 47
yeah,
units. I was too off.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah.
Dude, that's
About
that's
that.
freaking incredible, right? Because in today's market, well, the average realtor does 3 units a year, right? That's
Yeah.
what NAR says. But in today's market, like realtors I talk to every day are telling me how challenging it is to sell more than like 10 transactions a year, and you're doing 4x that. Would you say that's because of all the video content?
It is, but I treat the secret about social media that a lot of people get wrong. They think that they have to have all these crazy ideas and they have to record all these videos, which is true. That's part of it because you have to feed people something to watch, right? But the main thing that a lot of people miss is the connection part. I go out of my way every single day to talk to about 20 to 30 people every day and have conversations online. And it's not just comments, these are like DMs. Like the easiest thing to do is people are posting on their stories all the time. Just react to their stories all the time. If someone's at a restaurant, just say, like, oh man, I heard about that place. How is it? And you
Dude,
start a conversation there. And that's where the real business happens. Like the videos and stuff, they kind of get you attention. Some people connect you, and I have had business where people will just watch my content and say, hey, I want you to help me because like I love you and whatever. Not to that extent, but you know what I mean. Like I just
yeah,
love your
right,
content.
right. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I think
yeah.
when I first talked to you, I said the same thing. I'm like, I love you, dude. Your stuff is awesome.
And I'm
No,
trying to be real. Like I'm not trying to pretend to be anybody else. Like I am
but
myself. I am.
but
This is
what
who I am.
but what you said about reaching out to others and connecting with others, I 1000% agree. That is the most important component that everybody misses out on. Like realtors, lenders, every vendor. Like fuck, I gotta watch my language. Like just freaking care about people. Be kind to people.
Exactly.
Comment on what they're doing. Engage. Like so, when as a and I know this call's about you, but you got me like super excited when you said that. I coach loan officers, and I'm like, guys, if you want to work with realtors, comment on their stuff because yes, they probably have a preferred lender, but 90% of the time, the preferred lender isn't commenting on their stuff. So if you want to get at least a chance to get your way in, what better way than to bring kindness and support them? And
Yeah.
nothing may come from it, but if you do that enough and you're genuine and you truly care and you're truly curious about them, like that authenticity shows and opportunities will happen. But it just takes time and it takes, consistency.
It is, and it's a matter of building those relationships. It's just like any other tool. It's just like text. It's just like calls, and that's how we use it. So we are very purposeful to the point where we have been unintentionally like we see somebody like for example graduated right like this year we can't wait for the new school year to start because you know how everybody posts a picture of their kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're gonna everybody that's in our sphere or that we know, we're gonna take those pictures and print them out and mail them to them. Like we're gonna go a step further. You see what I'm saying?
Dude,
We're
I'm
not
going to give you
just
an idea to add to that.
go ahead.
Remember when you were in high school and you graduated, and this might not have happened to you, but it happened to me. I remember I was in high school, and at that time, like I didn't have any facial hair. I wasn't like I am now. I remember I graduated high school. I got this gift in the mail from like Gillette, and it was like a really nice razor. And I was like,
Oh
that's
wow.
so cool. I'm always going to use Gillette. As an adult, I knew nothing about shaving, but like you should incorporate that like some type of gift to like welcome to an adult.
Yeah, that's true. We brainstorm a lot, to be honest with you, and a lot of times it's just us. Somebody like we saw somebody going through something. We saw somebody like their dog died, right? They
Mhm.
posted that. So then we literally have people like we my wife will like print out a picture of their dog and we will just
Oh,
go, like we will do nice things for people. It's not just it doesn't just stay online.
Right.
And it's more like we are truly believing
You
in
care.
building relationships, and we actually do care about people,
No.
and we do a lot of things for them. The easiest thing to do when it's some people are going through something special and you see it online is just open up your Amazon. Free delivery, pretty much, if you have Prime. You can just get them anything. Like
Yeah.
I've had a client. She's also a friend. Her daughter was born, and she has a very unique name, right, for child. So we just ordered a toy with her name on it, custom
Oh.
made, and then it wasn't that much. It was probably like less than $20, but it was intentional. We went out of our way. I didn't. The best part about it is that we don't tell people this. Hey, you're gonna get something in the mail.
Right. 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 It's a surprise.
They just get it, and then it's just such a special moment, and that is when I believe when you're doing social media at a high level is that you're also paying attention what other people are doing, and then you're kind of building those relationships and just building those relationships and just building those relationships, and that is important. And a lot of people just think it's just posting content, trying to make videos or this. It's like that's just gonna get you the eyeballs. Once you have the attention, what are you doing with it? Like,
Hmm.
are you building community? Are you growing your relationships? And the DMs is where it's at. The
Yep.
commenting is cool, it's awesome, but people are not going to open up in a comment. People are not going to, by opening up, they're not going to tell you like, hey, I'm having issues with where I'm renting. Can I want to buy a place like sometime next year or something like that. You start having those conversations then. But that's never going to happen in a comment. That's definitely going to happen in DMs. So I typically move the conversations from comments to DMs, and I just find out more about what's going on and how we can help people. And that's usually how we get in the door, and that's how we get referrals, and that's how we get people to come list me. I mean, to the point where I've sold houses directly in my DMs. I've had
Wow.
people, I think it was last year or the year before, where we met at the closing table. You know, he went to an open house. He's been following me. He say, "Hello, I went to the open house. I'm already pre-approved. Can you write the offer?" And I did. And then 3 weeks later, we met at the closing table. I mean, it's a
Dude,
very smooth transaction.
that's
And I've done
incredible.
so many other things on my DMs, like other agents posting listings coming soon. Found out about them, and we actually closed them. Um, just so many things can happen when you're building all those relationships, and people love the attention that they get when you're commenting or posting, and they're posting and you're reacting to their stuff because we all post stuff and we all want people to say nice things about it, right? So yeah, it's the same way. It's the other way around too. So expect the other thing from if someone posts a picture that they're on a trip somewhere and they never post,
Or they never engage. They never
they
comment
never
with others.
engage. It's like, yeah, I mean that's huge for them. They went on a trip and then now their feed becomes this trip. Like, yeah, you better comment on it. That's
Yep.
important to them.
Dude, there's so many realtors that I've tried cold calling or I tried working with, right? Don't pick up the phone, nothing. I comment on one of their posts about their kids or about their trip or about something personal. All of a sudden they respond back and it's like positive interaction. And it just shows me that like that is one of the best untapped ways of truly connecting with people.
It is. It's true, and it's funny because I always tell people it's quicker to get to me in my DMs than it is through my text message.
I've learned that too. When I was
Yeah,
texting you, I'm kidding. No,
you texted me yesterday. I didn't get to it till later. But
it's
if you
fine. It's
DM
fine.
me, because I'm in it, that's my lead generation. That's
Well,
what
and
I'm
what
there
I've
all
also
day.
learned, by that, like it's a hack, right? Because
Mhm.
if I try to cold call a realtor, and we're giving some tips on working with realtors, if I try to cold call a realtor, they can ignore me. If I text them, they can ignore me. I DM them, they can ignore me, but it hurts their algorithm.
It does.
So they want to respond, so that way it helps their algorithm. So there's realtors that I've called, texted, nada, and then I DM them, and all of a sudden I get responses. So it's, but again, like you got to come to it like you care. Like I'm not trying to leverage it in a way to take advantage. Like you truly
Sure.
have to show your authenticity. And but the other thing is you have to be posting and showing who you are as a
Correct.
person, right? Because if you're not posting, you're just leveraging and just messaging people. Like people can look at your profile and be like, I don't know who this person is.
Yeah. That, and I mean, people have to get to know you, like you said. Like they have to know who you are, and if they feel some type of connection, then they will, transact with you. They're going to do business with you when the time comes around, or they would tell other people about you. I've had, like, last year, probably, I don't know how many of them. I have to go back and track it, but I made a post about, there was a lender that was doing some grants and stuff like that, and people were sharing that video to their friends. And through
Mhm.
that, I got a listing, a buyer. I think I had like 3 listings last year from that.
Well, that's awesome.
And those people never use those grants or those programs or anything, but it was a good way. It was me educating the consumer, and then it just got shared to people, and then they didn't need the assistance at all,
Mhm.
but it was just the way that I got introduced to them. You see what I'm saying?
No,
So,
absolutely.
and a lot of folks just don't. It's not about, creating this persona, and it's not about creating this like internet personality or anything. It's about just being yourself, and because people can see through that if you're just pretending to try to be somebody else.
So
And
on that note,
yeah,
I want to share your Instagram and go over some videos.
yeah, go ahead, man.
But before I do, man, something weird is going on. I just clicked on your profile and I can't show my screen yet because it shows I'm not following you, and I'm embarrassed.
That's
I
weird.
know, dude.
Instagram
Sometimes when
has
you,
been going down recently because my last video I posted, there's like a glitch on it,
yeah.
because
Well,
it
it's
has like
weird
a
because
yellow box.
if you follow somebody online, it doesn't always follow them. Then when you do it from your phone, it's just really weird lately with
I don't
Instagram.
know. Yeah,
But
but go
all
ahead
right, so
and pull it
share
up.
my screen, share screen. Yeah, exactly. I want to talk, the things you're talking about, I want to get into specifics. So for those who are seeing this, Fernando has 39,000 followers, which is freaking massive, top 1%, right? 1,400 posts. So I see from this that he's consistent with his activity. He's constantly posting. Great bio here. The bio should be a window into who you are. Man of God, family, realtor, team owner, Atlanta top 3%. And here's what's critical that I see a lot of realtors don't do. He actually has his phone number, a way to contact him. Dude, you know how many realtors you gotta like dig deep to contact them? How are you in a business where people call you and you don't have your number anywhere? It's crazy.
Yeah, I
But
have it on there, and a lot of people still miss it. So, but it's still there. And I was,
so so as I go through your videos, people are looking at this one, 7,000 views, 4,500 views. Like that's incredible. 850, that's nowhere close, but that's still incredible. Like people would love to have 850 views. I imagine, in talking to you, if you get one view, if you get 10,000, it probably doesn't make much of a difference because from what I read from you, you care more about like the process of doing it and like enjoy the process of doing it. And if they love it, great. If not, maybe they'll love the next one. Would you say
yeah,
that's a fair read?
yeah. I never get attached to the numbers, to be honest with you. And that happened to me, I think, sometime 2 years ago. I posted a video that went like extremely viral. It was like it had like 3.5 million views or something. And then like I caught myself not posting for like a month because I was just like thinking, oh man, this video, like, it better be as good as the other one, right? And then I posted something and it did like no views at all. And then that's when I learned, I was like, I can't be attached to the number. Like I just gotta be happy with the content, post it, and just move on. It's done what it's done. And some of it gets a lot of views, some of it doesn't. Some of it, it's okay. It's not for everybody. But the thing that you have to think about is that you have to show up every day, some way or another, right? You have to just show up every day, and it can look as a form of story, it can look as a post. I don't post on like feed post a lot, but I'm on my stories every single day, and I try to be as consistent as possible as posting, like, because
Stories.
it's important, and it's a mixture of everything. Like on my stories, I didn't post anything yesterday on purpose, by
All
the
right.
way, because
I'm
it's
like, I'm
almost
like
towards
clicking
the end
on
of
it.
it.
Okay.
No,
Sorry.
it's because I'm trying to reset it, because
Yeah.
every time I reset it and I post again, I get like 2 or 3 times more views on my stories, and it's kind of a hack that I'm testing out. I haven't found any information about it online, but I noticed it with me, where I will get like, if I'm posting all the time on my stories and I have like a whole bunch of stories, my views drop to a few hundred, right?
Mhm.
On my stories. And then if I just stop and post like 3 good things or 3 things in total, it goes to like maybe 1,000 views or something like that, or 1,500 views, whatever that number is. So this is something I'm purposely testing. So I'm about to post something after we get off this call and just see how that does, because I'm just trying to figure out the algorithm because it changes all the time, and that's what I'm basically trying to do. But I do want to
So
highlight something though.
yeah, please highlight.
I do. There's a bunch of work stuff on here, but then I also make stuff for like just for me. There's a video on there with my son on a bike. If you see that,
Oh, right
um,
here.
yeah, that video is me took him on a trip, surprise trip to New York for like 2 days. Um, it's a very personal video. I cried like so many times making this video. Kind
Oh,
of just put it out there, but this is just me showing like who I am like as a person, right? Because this type of content has to be out there.
yep.
um and the response from it, like the amount of conversations that got started from it, it's a lot more than anything that real estate related, because people love to know more about you, especially if you're putting yourself out there like that. They are like, okay, what does it look like, with your relationship with your son? I mean, if you watch the video, I cried so many times making it. So many people will
Should,
cry.
should I pause it? I don't want to.
Yeah, you can pause it. You don't
I
have to.
don't
But
want to
I just
create.
want to emphasize some of the things, right? Because a lot of folks, I talk to a lot of realtors, and they always ask me the question: should I have a personal and a business account? And I always tell them like, you're gonna need a business account until you have a real business. Like once you have people working for you, once you have other people depending on you, then that's when you should have a business account. But I'll be honest with you, 99.9% of the business comes from my personal, because that's where everybody's at. And I'm just mixing both, and people are okay with it. And again, some people just don't connect with my business stuff. They connect with the personal stuff, and that's okay.
Mhm.
And some people are just going to connect with the business stuff and not my personal stuff, and that's completely okay. You just have to detach yourself from the outcome and the view count and all that stuff. It is what it is. You just got to put it out there and you just kind of move on to the next thing. What is your next video? What's your next video idea? What is his, what you're doing? And a lot of people underestimate okay, I only got 500 views. That's 500 people that heard from you today that wouldn't have heard from you if you didn't post anything. Or I'm stuck at 200. I'm like, you know how much money people pay to be in front of 200 people?
Dude, so Alex Hormozy says he's like, I'm only in front of 20 people, right? It's like,
Mhm.
when I started off my business, how much I
Yeah.
would love to be able to talk to 20 people at one time.
Yeah, and a lot of people get caught up with this. Oh, it needs to have 10,000 views,
Yeah.
or it needs to have thousands or hundreds of thousands of views. If you do great, awesome, lean into that, and which is what happened to me. If you notice, things that mom home buyers like, dad home buyers like, millennials. I made a video about it, and I saw that it did very well. I kind of leaned into it, and I just kept making more of those videos. And in total, those were probably my best performing videos aside from the personal stuff.
No, these are great. Yeah.
Yeah, and then
I
some of them don't make it anywhere. That's okay, but it's just more stuff that you have to make. You see, like that one has 500,000.
That's incredible.
Our Christmas stuff, 11,000
Dear
views.
Santa, please help.
Yeah, I was just telling people my it is just a funny way of me telling people information.
Yeah.
That's what that is. Um, yeah, and then this is just me, being a dad, which is probably my favorite thing in the world, just being a dad.
Dude, nothing's better, right? I don't know
Yeah,
how you were, but I feel like when I became a parent, especially to a girl, I just became a better human being,
yeah,
right? Like I was a kid, I was a dumb kid doing dumb shit, got a girl, and I had to clean up my act. Not that I was bad, but we just become better
yeah.
because of our kids. And I can tell from your content, your video, like you're an amazing dad. You pour into your kids, and I have no doubt your kids are going to crush into life because you can see you're pouring into them the right stuff.
Yeah, and then I'm super intentional about that, and I'm always trying to
Mm-hmm.
make everything just like a kind of a teachable moment. And I know we
Mm-hmm.
get busy in this whole real estate stuff. We can easily work 60, 80 hours a week, right? But you have to kind of show up for your family too. So I try to make all as much time as I get with them to make it very special, and meaningful, and not just like, oh, this is just whatever. I include them in my content. I include them in my life. Like they all know, like, our goal to help 100 families this year is real, and they are all behind it, and they all know that. And like, like they're telling their friends about it, and and it's just because it's a family goal.
Yeah,
We
dude, I
we're
love
open to
that.
them, and
So do you?
we're open to them about it, and we tell them like, look, if we're able to help these many families out, we're going to be able to do a lot of cool things with you guys. And
And that's what I was going to ask. Like, do you have a reward? Like, hey, if we do this, Disney World.
not really, but we do kind of have an idea what we want to do.
Okay.
But I'm very random when it comes to doing stuff with them. Like, for example, I'll give you an example today. I am buying my 3-year-old a scooter because she's been wanting one. Um, but
Is that your 3-year-old?
that is my 3-year-old, yeah.
Oh, look
So
at
I'm
her.
gonna go out and buy her scooter today, but I'm gonna make it special. It's not gonna be like, hey, we're gonna go to Walmart or Target and just buy it. It's okay. It's just gonna be me and you. It's just gonna be both of us. We're gonna go on a little date together. And what do I'll take her probably like Chick-fil-A or something,
Oh,
and then we'll probably go to Target and have her pick it out. And I'm sure she's probably gonna trick me into buying her something else, which is fine.
dude, that's what girls do.
Yeah. So, but then it's just like it, it's about making everything special, right? Because like
Yep.
one big thing that we have with our team is our motto is everything's an experience, but experience is everything. Like
Love that.
it's making people like if people hire us in real estate, we want to make sure they have the best experience possible, even if things didn't go right, because that happens, pretty frequent. If you've been selling enough real estate, you know that some deals just go very sideways,
Yeah,
and that's
out of
okay.
your control. Yeah.
They're out of your control, and that's completely fine. But it's just a matter of being there for people. Like we tell them, like, look, some things may go wrong, but we're gonna be there for you. We're always on your side, and we're always gonna be looking out for you. And we show up in many different ways, basically.
Mhm.
So that is kind of like our big thing. Our secret sauce, you can say, is that we really work on making the mundane things very special for folks. Like, and we're testing stuff out all the time. So
Dude, you made a video about getting a haircut and you got 192 likes. That's insane.
yeah, I was with my barber and I was like, man, I'm gonna be here for the next hour. You're gonna be cutting my hair.
Wait, it takes you an hour to get a haircut?
Well, I mean, I get the whole beard and the scalp on my face and everything.
Dude, I'm like in and out. I'm like, just fade me up. Let's go.
No, so like, and plus he's a friend, he's a close friend.
No.
So like, we always have very good conversations. So one day I was like, dude, I'm gonna just mic you up and just see, And we happen to be like every conversation we have, it happens to be a great conversation.
Yeah.
And I just put a little clip out, and basically, yeah, that's kind of what
Well,
happened.
and what's really cool about that video in particular, and the reason I called it out, is early in my career, I found that when you do videos with other businesses and support other businesses, like good things come back to you, you support others. So, and then he is your barber. He is a good dude. You do like him, and
Yeah,
like you're trying to give, trying to help him, and maybe not intentionally, but like you want to help the people that are in your circle. It's just kind of a natural.
exactly. And it's like when people ask me, which is hilarious. I probably give him so many referrals a year, because I'm always like posting there. And people would ask me, "Hey, who's that barber that you go to again?" And yeah, like last week I sent him a client, because people ask me, because he shows up on my videos all the time, on my stories, and like people ask me about it. But it's the thing about a lot of crazy thing. People think that collaboration has to be this like thing that you have to plan. You have to make this crazy video. Collaborating is just literally you're with somebody. Can we just shoot something that we're already doing, and we can just put it out there? And that's what that is. It's literally that. It doesn't have to be this crazy thing that we have to plan. We're collaborating with your local restaurant, and you're stressed out because you have to think of this crazy video. It's like, nah, man, I'm going to my restaurant. I'm gonna record my experience, and that's it. It doesn't have to be super complicated, and that's one thing that you can say that I do very well. That I just try to keep stuff very simple,
Mhm.
and I like to have fun with it.
Right,
Um,
you're, and it shows. So I want to transition from the Instagram because what really impresses me is your YouTube channel, and I'm going to pull it up and show you why. Share screen. But for many that don't know, starting a YouTube channel is probably one of the most difficult social media platforms there are. I mean, at least in my experience, right?
It
Maybe
is
for
extremely hard.
some, YouTube is extremely challenging, right? So if you can get like 10 followers on YouTube, it's like equivalent to me like having 1,000 on Instagram.
Yeah,
Because how do you get someone
extremely
to
hard.
follow a YouTube channel, right? Dude, you got 4,000 followers. That's insane. Like, but as I go through your videos, you do shorts, you do so much great content. Everything here is solid. I like this one. I like this one here. What does a realtor even do? I just love the thumbnail, how you created that. Then I watched it and I love one of my favorite shows is Modern Family. And I love how you kind of have that style of, of giving them information. You're like sitting in the chair and talking about what's going on, and then it shows what's going on. Brilliant.
Yeah, that's something new. I started it off last year, and basically documenting my way to helping 100 families last year. Well, business got crazy at some point, and I just obviously, when it came to creating the content and like actually handling business is always going to come first, right?
Mhm.
So then I had to stop it like midway last year, stopped it because it was just basically it was so much. That's when I found out I'm okay. I need to hire somebody to help me with this. So now we have an on-staff videographer that
Oh wow.
follows me around, and we're putting together a show, like a YouTube show, a weekly show, kind of documenting everything that we do, and telling people stories. I think we're we're testing a bunch of stuff out, right? But doing it, now and like the episode you're about to see that we're gonna release one today. This one's a lot more personal because we noticed that people like more personal stuff on
Mhm.
YouTube. There is the whole business side, but more people can relate to it. And people can just watch it at home, and people are watching more YouTube on their TVs now. So because that trend is happening, I'm like, okay, we need to have our own show. And we've all seen the $1 million listings. We all seen all those real estate shows selling sunset. A lot of it is like super hyper crazy, unrealistic. They're showing all these crazy mansions that the majority of them don't sell. They're just there for the show. But I'm like, okay, how can we do something like that and have like a YouTube show kind of in between? And that's what that is. We are kind of carving our own lane because there's not anything like this
No.
that I haven't seen. It's kind of in between. Obviously, we don't have the production of like a big time, $1 million listing, sort of like certain kind of type of show. But we want to be more than just a basic YouTube video. We kind of want to live in between, and that is kind of what we're doing. I think we're, to still to the trial process. We're just posting. Obviously, the view count is not there, but we really don't really care about the view count. We care about the click through rate, which is the important part. How many people are actually clicking on the video, and then
Mhm.
we also what the watch time is what we are really paying attention to. So if we only get 200 people to watch, how many of them clicked on the video, or what's the click through rate? Which means it will show us we need to work on our thumbnails or our titles so people can click on the video. And then once they watch the video, what is the average time they stay on the video? And our watch time is pretty high. So like you see a 14, 15-minute video, on average, people are watching like say a minute or so for the majority of YouTube videos. We're getting 3, 4, 5 minute watch times, which means people are committing more than 4 or 5 minutes to this video. And then we all start going back, okay, what happened around that time that made people just turn away? Like what was going on? And then that's how we're changing stuff around. But we're just doing and trying stuff out and testing it. And I know probably by our 15th, 20th, 30th episode that we do this year, we're probably gonna have it all figured out how we want to do this. But then again, it just starts with us just creating and doing, and not being attached to, okay, if doesn't go viral. Like our intention is not for every video to go viral. Our intention is just to put out the content, see how people react to it, and then like adjust it. Because this is a whole different beast than creating content for Instagram, TikTok. We can create 100 pieces of content in one day if we want to, for TikTok and Instagram. But for YouTube, this takes like time. This is
Yeah.
like, I mean, editing a YouTube video to this level, it takes a few days to do it.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where we're at. But the goal is to, yeah, just see where this goes. I do have a vision for it. And I'm not gonna wait for, a network or anybody to come to us, because I do think we do pretty awesome, pretty special things, and we want to share them with the world. And we also want to share the experience from people, like the real estate experience that they've had with us. And that's one way that people can get to know us more. And then we also want to tell people stories. Like, it doesn't have to be, oh, you bought a $10 million house. Oh yeah, that's cool. But what about the person that bought a $300,000 house? I'm sure that's important for them. Or what about the person that bought a $700,000 house? Everybody has a story. We want to share all of them. And I think there's more of those stories that need to be told than all these crazy mega deals that we see on all these TV shows, which are cool. I'm not saying that they're bad, but we just want to do that. And we want to highlight the people. And we just, yeah, that's what we're doing. We're basically creating our own show from scratch. And we'll see what this goes. I'm excited for it, to be honest with you. This is very challenging to do it. But I'm excited where this is going to go. I do see the future in YouTube, and we're investing in YouTube heavily, to the point where we're about to hire another editor, to kind of help us, because it's a lot of work.
Well, and one of the things I love about your style is actually your fashion style. Like, you see so many realtors that like lack the professionalism and how they dress, and it's like you have a casual professionalism that goes so well with your demeanor and with you, and the way you carry yourself. Like, you definitely come off as a professional in real estate, but you're not like over the top dressed, but you're not super casual. You're kind of like that in between, but the way you pull it off, like, I don't think not just anybody can pull it off like that, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's just how I dress every day, man. Like, I'm
Yeah.
not going, like, for example, this is dressing right because I had this shirt. I actually have a listing appointment later on today,
Uh-huh.
so like I'm gonna look nice too, right? But I mean, honestly, like, I have suits, I have custom suits. They're awesome. They make you look amazing. But I don't want to build a brand where I seem unapproachable to people.
Right.
Very intentional. There's definitely a whole professionalism side. Like, today, I'm gonna be wearing a jacket,
Mhm.
and I'm gonna be wearing a nice dress up shirt. Because I'm going to somebody's gonna hire me to list their house. So that's important. But the majority of the time, I'm not wearing that. Plus, we live in Georgia.
Yep.
Weather
Well,
here.
but even your casual, like, it's like a stylish casual, because you see some people, like some realtors in this industry that dress casual, and you're like, man, like, I wouldn't work with that guy. Look how he just dressed.
Yeah.
He's not. I'm not explain it. Like,
Well, I
just look.
don't. I don't think I'm a fashionable person. If that's what you're trying to get to.
No,
But
I
that
love
is
your
just
style. Is what I'm saying. That.
yeah, dude. I buy all my clothes in Target. Shout out to
No
Target.
way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude.
Well,
I
because
have
that's where your daughter wants to go.
Yeah, well, I'm in Target all the time, man. Like, this is Target. Like, look,
Is it really? Wow.
yeah, I don't care. I honestly go out of my way to buy clothes that doesn't have a name brand on it.
Mhm.
Uh, that's just who I am. So if I see, like, I'm all about, like, just, who cares? I don't
No,
really pay
but
attention to that stuff.
I
But
think that's a fantastic tip, though, to people listening. Is like, you don't have to spend a lot of money on clothes. If you would have told me you shopped at Nordstrom, I would have, like, I could tell,
yeah,
right? But the fact,
oh,
like,
dude,
I'm blown away.
I have some
But I'm,
very expensive clothes, but I just don't wear it. It's
yeah.
uncomfortable.
But
I'm like,
it's such a. Go
yeah,
ahead.
I just want to be comfortable doing what I do. And obviously, I dress up when I need to dress up. But most of the time, what you see on the videos is what I wear every day.
Yeah, I love it, man. You're doing a lot of great stuff. So how long have you been in the industry now?
I've been in the industry for 8 years.
8 years. And when did you say, when you started this? How long did it take for it in order for it to take off and start getting business?
Oh man, like, it took me about 5 months to get my first closing.
No
And
way.
yeah, because I was trying to reinvent the wheel, like every other new agent. Every person that comes in the business feels like, okay, they tell you there's a way of doing it and you should do it, but everybody's like, no, I think I have something special. It's like, you probably don't. You just don't want to do the work. So
Exactly.
Yeah, you just don't want to do the work. You don't want to make the calls. You don't want to go door knocking. You don't want to do the open houses. You don't want to do the stuff that has been proven to get you business.
Yeah.
And that was
The
me, right?
calls, my call sheet every
Exactly.
day.
Yeah, we don't want to do that because it feels like work, right? And a lot of people go into this industry thinking, "Oh, this can be easy. There's so much money to be made." Like, yes, there is a lot of opportunity, but only like the top percent of people who are doing it at a high level sell the most homes, right? So it did take me a while. I was trying everything but doing work. And then how it all started is one day I took like, it was probably an open house class or door knocking class. I can't remember which one it was. And one of the tips that somebody said is like, you can't skip a house. If you're going to do it, you just don't get choosy. Just, the one house you don't want to go to, just go to it. Um, so I took that, and I come from a call center background because I used to work collections. And
No
then
way.
yeah, I
Oh,
used to work.
then you definitely have no cold call reluctance. If you're calling
Yeah,
people collecting money.
yeah, dude, it was so bad, but I got really good at it. Got really really good at it. But I would say is yeah. So I'm like, look, I hate door knocking. I tried it once, it wasn't me, and I tried all this stuff, right? So I'm like, what is it? The one thing I comes easy to me. I was like, okay, well, I can call. I can call people all day long. Like that's not a scary thing for me. I was, the calls I was making when I was at work in collections, reporting people's cars. Those were kind of scary calls, right? And then I just picked up my phone and started with letter A and just went down and gave myself about maybe 2, 3 weeks to call everybody. And I did not skip anybody. I literally just went and call. And I had different scripts that I just kind of came up with on the spot. But after a few calls, I pretty much figured it out. One of them was like, say there was somebody, we have me and Latino, you have so many Marias on your phone or so many Jose's. And you call them like, and you have someone named Jose, you don't know which one it is, right? You're like, dang, there's like 10 of them on my phone or 20 of them. So you call them and it's like, hey, Jose. And immediately you would know if it's a Jose, right? So then I would be like, hey, Jose, this is Fernando, man. How you doing? It's been a while. And people would be like, oh, hey, man, whatever. And my script was like, hey, man, I was like updating my database because, I changed careers. I do real estate now and I'm updating, trying to organize everything. And I saw your number, man. How you been? Like, it's been so long. And I just go into that conversation and then I will ask them the questions I would want them to ask me. Oh, are you still working there? And people will come back and ask you the same thing. And that was kind of my script with the people that I knew. The people that I didn't know, I had no idea who they were. It was I actually love calling those better because the conversations ended up being better.
Yep.
Because my script was like, hey, Johnny, this is Fernando. I'm organizing my database. I don't know how I have your number saved on my phone, but we met and we must have had a great time, man. How did we meet? And 9 times out of 10, they don't know who you are because you got somebody's phone number for something, and people would just start cracking up. They'd be like, I don't know, man. He's like, and I would just tell them like, dude, did I date your sister? Like just stuff like random stuff like that.
Dude, I
And
love it. I love it.
people would be like, what? I'm like, dude, did we go partying one time? Like what happened? Like just say random things like that. People would just start giggling, and then conversations ended up going to like, okay, well, what do you do? All right, where do you live in Georgia? What do you? And then it was kind of a, it turned into, okay, I want to know more about you, and I got pieces of business from people like that. Later on, it wasn't immediate, but like the next year, I got a few calls from people that I connected with, and they referred me some folks, and I became their go-to real estate guy. But my
Dude.
first deal was one of those calls, and it was somebody I was gonna skip. It was a kid. I was like, man, I don't think he's gonna buy a house. Like, why would I call him? I called him, man, and he was like, I asked him if he wanted to buy a house, and he was like, you know what? I do have some money saved. I should buy a house. And that was my first closing, dude. It was,
Dude, that's incredible. That's incredible.
I can't remember how old he was. He was probably 19 or 20 or 21.
That's the
And I wasn't
epitome
going to
of
call
working
him.
your database.
Yeah, and I wasn't
That's
going to call him. And because I took that class and they say, don't skip nobody, commit to it and don't skip and get choosy, just call or do the activity. I did it, and that's how I got my first closing.
dude, that's incredible. And what I love about that is like, no, this is so weird, dude. And this is how I know that like God exists and there's always a plan, is because yesterday I'm looking up realtors to cold call. I find this realtor that I'm going to cold call. I'm like, that name is so familiar. I like her style. So I dial her number at my phone and she's saved in my contacts. And I'm like,
Wow.
this is so strange. So I call her up and I say something similar. And I wasn't planning. I'm like, look, I don't know how we met. I found you online. I thought you were impressive. I love that you're doing blah, 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 blah. And then I dialed your number and you're on my phone. So we must have met somewhere before, done business before together. I don't just save anybody's number on my phone. Like, you must be an incredible rock star. So tell me more about you, because we have to. Do you know who I am? How did we meet? She's like, I have no idea who you are, Rick. And
Yeah.
but it was just so, man, it's so
It's
weird
just a
that you tell them
pattern
these
interrupt.
things. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a pattern interrupt. Like, it's something that no one is like calling you, hey, how do we meet? I have you saved on my phone. Like,
Yep.
no, like if you get a call like that, then you get interested because it doesn't sound like anything else. And you're like, yeah, how did we meet? How do you have my phone number? And then you go down that rabbit hole, and then at the end of the day, it turns into any other sales call. Like, oh, this is what I do. Can I help you with that? If come across somebody that needs my help, here's my information, and can we stay in touch, right?
Mhm.
And a lot of folks, the next step I do, I just don't leave the phone call there. I typically add them on Instagram or on Facebook. Like, I find them, and I'm like, if I don't, if I forget to call them again, at least they see my stuff all the time, and then they
Mhm.
come across it all the time because we post so much that it's a matter of, I mean, unless they block me or mute me or whatever, they won't see my stuff, but they will see it and it's there. So
I can't imagine anybody blocking you.
yeah, I don't know. I wish there was a way to finding out and just keep telling people like, hey, can I get a second chance? Like, what happened? What happened?
I can't imagine anybody blocking you. You're too nice. Like, you're such a good dude.
Oh,
Um,
appreciate
but
it. Thank you.
but yeah, that's awesome, man. Man, like the more we talk, like, and I learn about how you do things, the more impressed I am, because like I feel that we're in an environment where if you do the things you're doing, you can crush it because nobody's doing it.
Yeah, and there's like a million real estate agents, but none of them are really working. They just have a real estate license.
You know,
They like the title of being a realtor.
the
Um,
idea of working for yourself.
the idea of working for yourself, but no one's actually doing the work. There is so much business out there, and I'm not worried about telling people my secrets or what I do or whatever, because
Because they won't do it.
yeah, they won't do it. It's just the majority of people won't do it. Like, I have tried to coach people, and I have people ask me, how do you do this, and they make their videos and they make one and that's it. And I get it. Some people, that's just not gonna be it, but for some other people, it is gonna work. But it's just like anything, is the more you do it, the more time you spend doing something, the easier it gets, and the better you get at doing it. And that's kind of where we're at. I've been making videos forever, man. If you go back on my feed, I've been posting, making videos forever. There was some point in my life, I think 2 or 3 years ago, I was posting a vlog every single day with what I was doing. And I did that, and it worked. It's a lot of work, and I said never again would I do this. I committed to it, and I did it for 6 months, man. 6 months straight, I was posting a video every single day about what I did that day.
Wow.
That got me business. I had some very cool closings from that. People that found me in other states that happened to be moving to Georgia that turned into like 3 or 4 deals. My biggest transaction last year kind of came from one of those videos. So, like, it works, but I just knew I wasn't going to be able to do it at that scale because it was just too much. It was putting too much, like, it just wasn't my thing. I tried it though, and I know the
Mhm.
results are there. So now we're still posting. It's just different.
Right. Right.
It's not in real time. So now with the YouTube series and everything, it's a whole different animal. It's a whole different thing. But again, the activity's still there. We're still posting. We're just not doing that exact thing, and that is what's important.
Well, man, I have taken up an hour of your time, and I feel like we can go another hour just chit chatting and talking. I hate
Yeah,
to like cut this puppy off, but I want to be respectful of your time. I know you got a lot going on today,
yeah.
and also, man, I want to leave people wanting more. So hopefully, we can have you back and keep sharing. Um, what do you want to leave the viewers with, or leave the audience with, before we wrap this puppy up?
I think it's figuring out, like anything that you do in real estate, figuring out what your big why is, right? And making it real and then figuring out a way to get that done. And for some folks, it looks like real estate is a thing. For some other folks that maybe not in real estate, it looks like other businesses. But I will tell you this whole social media thing, creating content stuff is not going to go away. It's getting bigger. And if you can attach your why to that, it just gets a lot easier. I know every time I'm making content, I'm moving closer to my goals, my personal goals, and the things I want to do for my family. So that's how kind of I see it. It's like, okay, this is getting me closer there, and we're just, doing it. We're not. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's better to be done than to be perfect, right? And that's how we feel about the content too. A lot of it sucks, but we just put it out. Some of it is really good,
Mhm.
but we are just putting it out and just learning from it. So I guess what I would want to tell people is, um, yeah, like what are you giving up for not, posting or committing to something?
Love
Um,
that.
so if you want to, if real estate is a thing that you want to do and reach and do the things you want to do, and you want to grow within that sector, like, or whatever business you're in, what are you giving up by not taking the risk of just trying it? Because a lot of people think, oh, what if it doesn't work out? But what if it does? What if it does end up working out? It's like a lot of people go straight to the negative. Like, what are people going to think of me? What it's going to be a negative thing. It's like, well, no, what if everybody loves you? What if everybody actually likes you? And you have a very unique personality and you're not like everybody else. Like, I don't call myself an influencer. I hate using that term. A lot of people try to put it on me. It's like, hey, you have all this big, following on TikTok. You have here. I don't pay attention to it. I just had fun with it. Growing the social media numbers is awesome. But I know every time I create the content, help the people out, people have great experiences with us when we help them buy or sell a house. That I'm moving closer to my personal goals, and that is kind of the thing that drives me. And I am just betting on myself pretty much, and knowing that this is going to work out one way or another, and that this is what I love doing. This is what I know what to do, so I'm just going to keep doing it.
Dude, I love that. And you talked about, what are you giving up? I always say there's a cost to everything. There's a
Yeah,
cost if you don't do it. There's a cost if you do it. What cost do you want to pay?
exactly. That's so true.
So, well, man, thanks again for coming on. This was incredible. I can't wait to get this published to Inman and just share the story with everybody.
Yeah, appreciate it, man. That's
Yeah,
pretty awesome. Yeah, if
yeah.
anything, Rick, I'm happy to come on again. I love doing this
Man,
kind of stuff.
that's awesome. All right. Well, don't hang up on me yet. Okay.